Welcome back to Unplugged with Nicki Marie, Season 2. And I put this deadline on myself mainly because of when I had this guest booked. So today is so special to me. Today's guest is near and dear to my heart and to the hearts of over 5 million social media followers on his, I said followers.
Yeah, because you're ready for it.
Because I'm with you. On his TikTok and IG platforms, he is the headliner of a multi-city comedy tour, mostly sold out, and the co-host of a podcast called Camp Counselors. I would also like to proclaim him as the most shared creator in your mom group text. Do you get that a lot?
I don't know, but maybe I should.
Oh, definitely. Unplugged listeners, I would like to introduce you to the one and only Zachariah Porter.
Season 2, we're in the house. I'm so excited to be here.
Applause.
My neighbor, my love, forever. Thank you for having me, and I'm so proud of you. The set looks insane. So good. Proud of you.
Amazing. Proud of me. Sarah's over there.
Oh, yeah, you crushed it. Sarah.
Listen, behind every strong woman, there's an even stronger woman.
There is, and for me, it's Jonathan. He's my strong mama behind the cameras. Seriously.
We were talking about, like, kids.
Yeah. Oh, my God. So that's funny. Because you are strong mama. I play strong mama, but I don't want to be mama. Mama's not for me. I don't think I can have kids. Biologically, it's not happening.
But what did I say? It
Yeah.
only takes one.
Yeah, Nicki was saying off camera that all you need is one strong parent to lead the way. And Jonathan, my love, would be the best dad ever. I think I'm too hard on everybody that I can't be hard on somebody. Like, I just know how I was, like, growing up. I think my parents were, like, super, not aloof, but they were a little like, more, like, hands off. Yeah. And I think that would be like my parenting style, which I don't think was the best parenting style.
Listen, I want to know about the parenting, the upbringing, because so much of who you are and so many of your characters that we love come from like your upbringing. So
yeah, I think mostly everything came from TV. TV literally raised me. My parents worked so hard growing up. They had stores and malls. They were florists. They were always working nights. So I didn't get to do a lot of after school activities because there was simply no one to bring me to them.
Okay.
So I feel like I was always at home, always watching TV, always obsessed with like characters and big stories. And that's kind of where everything came from. My mom swears up and down the character isn't her, but after a bottle of Merlot, she's feral.
Is Merlot her wine?
It's anything. She's actually like, she's not really into white. She's into rosé and reds.
Okay.
With the ice sometimes.
All right. So talk about that a little bit. Like, I want to go back to the characters.
Yeah.
Who were some of the shows, the go-to after school shows and characters? This will tell me so much about you.
Well, you can't really talk about it now, but I loved America's Next Top Model, which is so historic. And guys, relax. We know now historically it was very problematic and that Tyra was a monster. But at the time, I was really obsessed with like the transformations and also really big personalities. I loved reality TV. I loved like The Office too growing up. Yes, I was really into comedy. Yes. But I would just like go home, eat any Tizer buffalo chicken on the couch and just watch hours of television. I didn't do theater or anything.
And it was at time, like you knew the day and the time?
Yeah.
Is that when, right?
Of course, if my parents were gone, I would watch really gay TV. And when they come home, I'd switch it.
Oh my God, wait, okay.
Well, this is actually R.I.P. Michelle Trachtenberg, the actress. She just passed away.
Oh, no.
She just passed away, and she was in this Disney Channel movie called Ice Princess, and she was an ice skater. And I remember watching that when they were coming, and I was watching it on TV, and I was really gay when I was growing up, but I didn't want to be picked on. And I remember we were 20 minutes to the end of the movie, and my parents came home, and I had to change the channel, and I was so upset I missed the ending of Ice Princess. And when, unfortunately, she just passed away, but that was a memory for me. But if no one was home, I'd watch really gay TV, and then I'd have to butch it up a little bit. I know.
I feel in big sister mode because my brother, I feel like once you're in that community, you feel like you can have the talk.
So what is the age difference between you and Frankie?
18 years.
Oh my God. So you were like, that was a full cycle of like age. Oh my God. So were you around when he was growing up?
Oh my gosh. So it went from my mom telling me she was pregnant and me being completely disgusted. I was a junior in high school.
Of course.
Disgusted. And then when he was a baby, it would be like, look at him, pay attention to him, look at him, look at your brother, look at your brother. And I'd be like, okay, I'm not into like the baby face, but I was a family girl. Mm-hmm. But I also was like, living it up, going to college soon.
I know.
In the thick of it, right?
Yeah, and you're like best friends.
Once he was like a toddler and talking to me, and we'd listen to music, we'd act silly together. And before vlogging existed, we had the OG vlogs.
Where are those?
I'm talking, I got him into Backstreet.
We need those out of the vault.
NSYNC. Brittany, this was the full-on era of them when he was like 8. And I think my stepdad and my mom partly think were responsible. Before they knew a lot about, his sexuality.
They're like, oh, you brought it out of him?
Totally.
Well, somebody had to.
Totally.
If it wasn't you, he would have been sneaking ice princess like I was.
Thank you.
No, seriously.
But totally. So we have videos where he's like...
Yeah. Oh, I like it locked in like that. I remember coming home and I had my t-shirt wrapped up into like a belly shirt. And I was listening to Pussycat Dolls, and my dad came home, was on the back porch, and he looked at me, and it's like, it's so funny now. But when you're like little and you're in the closet, you're like, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen. And my dad looks at me like, how do I get out of this? I'm like, stretching. Like, I'm literally like.
How did you know?
Oh my God.
How did you know?
I've known I was gay since I remember my first memory of being gay. I was 6 years old, and my babysitter gave us all of our Nickelodeon magazines that were old. And I looked at the cover of NSYNC, and it was like a 2001 cover, and I crossed out everybody's face with my finger and then kissed both of my index finger. I went and put it on Justin Timberlake's face. And this was when he had the ramen hair. I've always been gay. I've always known I was. It took me a while.
And how old was that though?
That was 6.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. And did you know what it was?
No.
Okay.
And then I was grouped in church too. So then you heard a lot of messaging about that, which was fine. I had a great experience in church. I'll never shit on it. But I didn't come out until I was 15.
Okay.
I had to at that point. The voice wasn't getting any deeper.
Yep.
My hips were just shaking.
Gosh.
But thank God I did.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
All right. So your family dynamic. Tell us about that.
I'm the youngest of 4.
Yep.
So my sister and my brother are 10 years older than me. And I'm really close with my sister too. We're like best friends, very much like you and Frankie.
Yes.
And I have another closer brother to me in age, and he's 2 years older than me. And yeah, everybody like lives around here still. So I moved to New York 3 years ago, and that's why I'm always back and forth, because like family and friends, everybody's locked into this area. And if you're unfamiliar of the area we live in, it's a very special microcosm of just, it's got everything I love. And that's why I always talk about New York. I'm like, it's great, but there's no place like where we're from. We're lucky.
And
lucky
where
ducks.
we're from, I mean, do we group it as Bristol County? Because this is a very specific, like you said, it's an arm of Massachusetts.
I say South Coast.
Okay.
Not South Shore, but South Coast. But that's Bristol County?
I don't know, but I think people need to know this area.
For sure. It's our little gem of a little slice of paradise.
So how would you describe this area?
Everybody knows everybody, and wherever you go, there's like, at least for me, I worked in restaurants and retail, so everywhere I go, I have a connection to somewhere. But the food is great, the weather is amazing in the summer, and it's not that bad in the winter, and it's just really homey. We don't have a lot of like chains of things, you know what I mean? There's a lot of mom and pop still, which I love.
Yes.
I love it here.
So we're talking the New Bedford, Fall River.
Yeah, it's that whole strip.
Yes. So if you're not familiar with Bristol County, look it up, Google it. You'll see where Zachariah and are both from. And I think that pays a lot into our content, both of us.
And then I don't ever want to like talk about where she's from, but Michaela Noguera is also from our area. The way we're pumping them out over here.
Pumping them out. But here's the thing. When I got to college and everyone thought I was funny, I was like, oh, that's weird, because I feel like I grew up with so many funny people.
Yeah, exactly. It was natural. You know what's so funny about me and Nicki? My first my first apartment ever was these 2 girls I met at Olive Garden that I did not know, that were obsessed with field hockey, went to UMass Dartmouth to play field hockey. And years later, when we met, I realized that you were their coach.
Chach and Lobo.
Isn't that so?
Chach and Lobo, my homegirls.
Those are my first roommates ever, like my first apartment, and they knew you. That's kind of speaks to this area. Like everybody has a intersection with somebody.
They do. And also what I love about it, and I tell people where I'm from, why I love this kind of area of these towns. No one cares who you are or what you do.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I think people stop me here, but they're not like insane about it. They're just like, oh, because everybody's kind of like, somebody knows me someone always knows someone that knows me.
Right.
So they're like, now I saw Zachariah, but they're so sweet to me.
But I'm talking even growing up, even without the content creator in us.
Oh, yeah.
I just I could go anywhere, even before any of this was happening, and like no one really cares? Everybody's like blue collar vibes.
It is, for sure.
Family
Yeah.
vibes.
It's always been like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. My mom also like has worked a ton of jobs. So has my dad. So they always know somebody. Yes. Everybody knows somebody.
Everybody knows somebody.
Like,
but talk about your characters and how, like, where does your mom and your restaurant life, where do the characters?
Mostly, like, all the characters come from working in retail and restaurants, for sure. I did that I did that for 10 years of my life. I was working like nonstop 40 hours at either a store or a restaurant. And when you work in restaurants, you meet the wildest people, not even at the tables. It's the people you work with, because those people are addicted to fast cash, flexible schedules, and they run hard and dirty. And they're the people you want to drink with. Like, I learned how to play Keno from a woman I met in a restaurant. Like, I don't know, my best experiences are from working at like Olive Garden and Joe's.
Yeah.
Like, just the best.
Olive Garden and Joe's speaks like volumes of your experience. I totally can see it.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess? There's 2 restaurants that I worked at around here.
Oh, in this area?
I don't know that's a little bit of pressure on you. There's a lot of places.
Well, give me a hint.
On the water.
Was it Barrett's?
No, looking at Battleship.
Oh my God. What is it called?
It's called the Cove now, but it was the Regatta.
Oh, I've only known it as the Cove. Were you a server or a bartender?
Server.
You were probably so good. You give major
Listen,
server.
I was great server. The blue plate, the silver here. What do you call it?
What?
When the oldies come at like 4:45 for the scrod.
Early birds. Oh my God.
Scrod.
Scrod. I don't think people know about Scrod. That's very local.
My grandfather would order scrod, and because he had a heart issue, he would say, no butter, no crumbs,
no breadcrumbs,
no nothing. And like the servers, I would always be like this, and the servers would be like, sir, how do you want it? He's like, just grilled. And they were like, had a hard time giving it. He loved a just dry piece of scrod.
That is so feral. No butter, no breadcrumbs. Well, he's healthy, but that tasted like nothing.
Was that even healthy though, or were we just taught that? I love butter. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
And it's not giving you heart disease.
It's not, and also like just have a breadcrumb.
Have a
goddamn breadcrumb. But Jonathan didn't know what scrod was.
Scrod.
What is it? It's kind of.
It's just a thin.
Is it cod?
Feral was dead on. Feral fish of the sea.
We don't unidentifiable. That's the scrod.
Screams like Greg's restaurant and like Magoni's.
Yeah, I've never been to Magoni's, but I know Greg's.
I mentioned Magoni's. I think Sarah has a connection to Magoni's. Anyway, so restaurant Regatta used to be called the Regretta.
That's
and
hysterical.
It turned into a club at night, and I was not a club girl.
Yeah, I've never been a club guy. I've always been a bar guy. For sure.
Yeah.
I like to sit. I don't want to get dance. I don't want to dance and get sweaty. Only on my occasional nights, so I get that feral.
All right. Do you now, how are you feeling with like your life now? So I feel like we grew up in this area with like the Cheryl outside ripping the cigarette in between her Keno,
Yeah.
Now, do you feel like because you've become more successful and you've moved to Brooklyn, have you become bougier?
I think it depends. I eat out a lot because I can afford it.
Yeah,
so I definitely spend my money on food. And when I travel, I stay in like nice places, but I save a lot of money. I grew up with no money. My parents had a lot of money and then lost it. And when I graduated high school, I was like literally nothing. I didn't even buy a yearbook because I couldn't afford it because I had to pay my car insurance. So I know what it's like to not have money. So I'm very careful of how I spend and save. So I don't have like a luxurious car, like really I'm wearing Old Navy and Zara right now, like nothing like crazy, but I do think I spend it on like choice things. Yeah, like my apartment's like nice, but I work hard. I try. But
that's where I feel like this area grew up. Sometimes I'm like, my parents taught me to be a little scared of money.
Yeah,
but all in good reason. Like I feel like we have a different understanding. At least all my friends that I grew up with around here, everybody's got that relationship with money where it's grounded.
Yeah, and I also think too, I meet so many people that resent where they're from, and I genuinely think it's because I stayed for so long that I put all of my friends and my family have roots here, and so do I. So when I'm gone, I always feel so connected to it.
Yeah.
And I feel the most normal in myself here. When I come back, my cup is filled, and then I can go be the Zachariah everybody needs me to be online.
Yes.
Because when I'm gone too long, I need to see the woman having a meltdown meltdown in front of End Zone in the North End. I need to see her smoking a cigarette and shaking. And I'm like, now I'm fed. Like, the fabric of my community is like a big joke in my show because I talk about home so much because there's a special psychoticness of this place.
Totally.
It's so freaky, but so, I don't know, good intentions are
totally.
here. Yeah.
When Frankie comes home, so my brother.
He comes home a lot too.
When he comes home a
knows.
lot. It's like he's in LA living it up, but then when he comes home, he has such even more of an appreciation.
I think I had to leave.
Yeah.
Because we talk about this a lot. You see a lot of people. The internet is a great place, but like comparison is a thief of joy. It always will be. So when you see people doing things that you think you should be doing, and that's why I moved to New York. I thought I had to be there for certain opportunities, and I've experienced them and I've loved them. I've done my 3 years. I'm out. Like, I just need to like take a step back now because I realize that privacy and peace and flexibility with living situations are better than some stupid party. Oh my God, the party sucked.
But you did it. But that's part of like the journey and the evolution is you have these experiences behind you.
Did you ever live anywhere else besides here?
I was Massachusetts. No, I lived in like Rhode Island and Central Mass for my jobs.
That's far.
But I swore I would never move back to my town.
And you did.
And I did. And it was honestly, it was when I was pregnant. And I just wanted for my kids what I had.
Yeah.
Which is that grounded, that hardworking mentality. I just had that vision.
Yeah,
for them.
That's good. I like that. I think everyone should try to move away at least once.
Absolutely.
And it's gut wrenching and it sucks.
Absolutely.
But then you learn a lot from it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I know. I'm glad I did. And I was experiencing. I'm so glad I traveled the amount that I did.
That's good.
Yeah.
What was your favorite place you went to?
Alaska. Don't even get me started on Alaska. Alaska from the you feel like there is a God when you're in Alaska.
With that nature? With those icebergs?
It's just breathtaking where you're like, I'm not even thinking about anything else when I'm here. It's so freaking gorgeous.
Wow.
And then to do the river rafting and then to do I'm afraid to some degree of flying. I get nervous. I went on one of those like prop planes through the mountains, like, and you're like this close to each side of each mountain.
Can I tell you something so scary about that? Because you survived it. I did a Trova trip. Do you know what those are?
No.
For people who don't know, it's those vacations for influencers where your followers can come. So I did one, and it was a trip. It was kind of a nightmare. And I can't really talk about it publicly because things happen that like I don't want to ever like be messy about. But I bonded with some of the girls really well. And one of the girls, she was from Ketchikan, Alaska, and she was a nurse. And she told me that they had like, a lot of the cruises would stop there, and they would have people that would die on those planes all the time. I would never do. She was like, never do one of those.
Now that I'm a mom, listen.
But you survived it. That's scary. I'll never forget it.
When I tell you I have footage of that whole trip, no idea where it is. It's in a bin somewhere on
It's
one
here,
of those
though.
like tapes. But I gotta bust those out. OG vlogger, I swear.
That would be so fun for you to revisit.
Like this with the big camcorder.
Your kids would love it.
We
too.
would have been best friends if we grew up together.
Yeah, we would have.
Certainly. Okay. So the mom character, I have to just ask because I met your family at the City Winery event that you so graciously had me open.
And you crushed it.
It was so fun.
That's why I'm waiting for your show to take off.
It was so fun, but this is what I want to say. Does your mom trigger you?
Yes.
Talk about it.
All the time because we're so alike, but also so different in many ways. I think my mom has an issue with word vomit, and when she's nervous or anxious, she just like talks. And sometimes I need her to be a little bit more present in the moment. Like even at the show, I was like when I had the show this weekend, I asked her about it, and then she was really concerned about another family member that went a different night that she's feuding with, and she was like, "Was that so and so in the photo?" And I said, "Mom, what did you think about the show, please?" So I sometimes her communication is really off, but I think at our core we're very similar. We really bond over food. So I know you know what's funny about that? I used to have a really difficult relationship with my parents, and then I went to therapy, which I highly recommend everybody do. And my therapist really refocused my mind saying, they're not going to change. They are who they are. Accept them from who they are. Because if you don't, you're going to spend your entire life resenting them. And then one day they're gone and you're going to wish that you could have taken all that resentment back. I know who they are. We are not as similar as I wish we were, but I accept them for my parents because it's easier for me to live my life just letting it go. But they are, you cannot teach an old dog new tricks.
You cannot So I'm going to look at the camera. Which one should I look at, Jay?
The good one.
Frankie, did you just hear that? Repeat that. Frankie and I have had the same conversation. Mom, love you to fucking death and back. Okay. We have had the same conversation of she is not going to change. Why do you keep thinking that this is going to change? And I'm not saying anything bad, but like the stuff that triggers me.
Yeah.
Why am I'm the one that is getting triggered? So I have to change.
It's just
my thoughts.
Just to protect yourself.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's nothing, because it only is going to help yourself. And this changed my life like 3 or 4 years ago. Yep. And I also think my parents have respected more boundaries, have been a little bit more vocal about what upsets me. And now we just avoid those topics because we're never going to agree on that. So why even bring it up? So like, let it go. But yeah, just walking in being like, you can't change these people. But it's so funny. I love them to death. They want to meet my boyfriend's parents so bad. And I say, you'll meet them at the altar because you're not gonna, when we're locked in, then you'll meet them. I'm like, oh, you want me to set up a trip because they live in Philly. They're in Mass. I'm like, oh, so you want me to plan a trip for us all to meet? I'm going to pay for it with my anxiety too? No, you're not. I'm not doing
See, but
this.
Here's the thing. We're raising new generations of boundaries. And me being a mom, I can already see I trigger Layla.
Yeah.
So it's this whole, right? It's this whole thing of like, how do we as generations realize your parents' generation is so different than what you and I are in right now.
I know.
And then same with my kids. So it's no offense to anyone.
It's not.
Moms, aunties, we love ya. We just have a hard time with some of the old stuff.
And my mom has a hard time with her mom. It's never going to happen. I think it's just normal. But I also know it's just when she calls me, she's like, we need to meet Jonathan's parents. I'm like, you need to back off because I'm not planning this at all. I do enough for everybody. So I love them though. I love them to death. And they don't even know how to find a podcast. So they'll never hear this.
This is hilarious. No, my mom's, she's going to tone right in and she's going to be like, I can't believe you said that. But my mom will warn me, someday I'm not going to be here for you to pick on.
And
that triggers me.
Clock it. Because guess what? She is correct about that.
She is. And I will literally fall apart when that happens. So you're right. Let's just all call your moms today. Tell them you love them.
And then tune out the noise that is irritating because it'll always be there. I know. That's what I like my mom on 3 glasses of wine. That's when she gets goofy.
Oh, wicked. We went to dinner recently when my brother was home and we were all like a glass and a half. And I looked at my mom. I go, oh no. Oh, she goes, let me live. But I already could just feel it coming on.
Are you turning into her?
I 1,000% like, so my dad and my mom divorced when I was like 2.
Okay.
I don't know how they even made it to marry each other. They are so not meant for each other. So I grew up divorced, but my dad not that long ago was like, you're sounding more and more like your mother. And
were you pissed when he said it?
I nearly punched a wall. I nearly
back off, Dad.
Yeah, but I can't get mad at my dad, and that pisses my mom off because my dad is like, you would never say that to your father. I'm like, you're right. I don't say anything to my dad, but in that moment, I think that's the first time I was mad at him.
Oh no!
I was like, don't.
And he knew what he was saying. He thought about that and still said it. What a diva.
Oh, what a diva. Blue collar, silent guy. But that one, it was like, bruh.
But
I blame a little bit of like perimenopause. The hormones are changing. My estrogen is dropping, which I think I was very high on estrogen, which is the giving, the loving, the nurturing, the taking care of everyone else. And like my testosterone, I don't know how to describe it hormonally, but I'm turning more into like a rigid bitch.
Oh, okay.
It feels good in certain ways, but also a little weird.
I feel like I'm pretty rigid. I think people think I'm really goofy, but I'm very serious.
Okay, tell me about that. So online versus real life.
I think there are so many moving parts to my life and that nothing happens by chance and everything is calculated in a way that like if you don't keep your wheels moving, they're going to stop and there's always planning for the future. And I've, for the last 6 years, have constantly lived in a state of like fight or flight. Like if I don't keep going, it's all going to be ripped away from me. And now I finally feel for the first time that I've done enough to like keep everything moving. But when it comes to business, it's so funny on tour. You have to be like very nice to everybody, but there's a lot of people that work on a show that if anything goes wrong, everyone's looking at me, not them. So when it's time to lock in and do like sound checks and make sure the lighting looks great, you kind of have to be a little bit more stern and make sure that you're not, you can be nice, but you have to like advocate for yourself.
You have to get your shit done, yeah.
And I think people don't realize that when it comes down to business and work, like I'm no joke, like everything has to be perfect, but that's also gotten me where I'm at. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, you can't be relaxed
getting
always.
You where you're at. I want to go back in time real quick.
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
I invited Zachariah over to my house.
I knew you were going to bring this up. I knew it.
My kids were home. I had a vision. So I think it's like, I just think back. I saw your post. I was like, I love him. Instantly love him. We were both like growing on TikTok around the same time.
Yeah.
And I found out you're from New Bedford. And I can't remember how, but I reached out. I was like, I have an idea. I have a show. Came up with fucking logos and everything for a show called, do you remember what?
No, what was it called?
I'm so embarrassed now.
No, don't be.
But it's so cute. There's a point to this, which is like you seeing a vision. Nicki and Zachariah go.
Yeah, and we were going to go and travel and do like food tastings around, and then we're going to expand it. And I think it's still a good idea. Let me say this, because I backed off. But also at the time, I didn't even have a manager. I was so involved in my own stuff at like a really unhealthy level that I couldn't take a wide lens and be like, what's going to work for me?
But hold on. I think that is something you should honor, because most people feel like they have to say yes.
I've never been that. I say no all the time.
So, all right. So talk to people about the power of no.
Yeah, you have to say no. I say no all the time. If something, I trust my gut. My gut's never wrong. You have to, if you have a bad inkling about a person, a choice, anything like that, you have to say like, there's a reason why I shouldn't be here or shouldn't do this. And every time you go against it, you hate it. I hate it every single time. And it wasn't that I didn't hate this opportunity. It felt like it was too much of an ask in that moment of where I was at and trying to get. So I didn't think it was the right time for me. And I think it wasn't the right time.
And you didn't ghost me. You told me. And I remember saying, I'm so fucking proud of you. Because you were like, I think right now I have to focus on like my own stuff and where I'm going. And you didn't have a manager yet, but like you had a vision for where this was going.
Yeah.
So like what was... Because I know sometimes when you have a vision, it's not like a concrete picture that you have in your head, but what was your...
My vision was to not just be online only.
Yeah.
And I think the last couple of years with my podcast and my live shows and other opportunities, I've managed to like diversify my portfolio, because we were all in such a hustle during COVID on video, and look where we're at now. Like we've definitely grown it. But I still feel that like the same person I was then, just a little bit less neurotic about the fear of everything being ripped away from me. But at that point I was like, I woke up every day panicking that I had to like make the best I've ever made in my life.
Yeah. But you do. Your stuff, like people freaking love you. You're so funny. I personally think that 5 million followers, most people would say, holy shit, that is insane. He's made it. But I see so many other people that are just big. And I think you're more talented than most of them.
Well, thank you.
You're funnier than most of them.
I think we have a very similar audience. I have people I meet and greet, be like, I know you're going to Nicki's house. They saw the whole update with the whole set. So I think we're lucky. We're both lucky to be able to do this. It takes a lot of hard work to do it. But like at the end of the day, like I was working in restaurants, and nothing wrong with that. But I'm a lot happier doing what I'm doing now. So
did you see yourself on a stage? Was that part
no?
Okay.
Someone told me, like my team forced me to do that. They were like, "Oh, you have to start doing stand up." I took one class. I took like an intensive improv class, and that's a whole thing too. I feel like sometimes you just have to just say, "Why can't I do that?
Why can't I do that?"
Because you can really do anything. I think the big no is yourself telling yourself no. Like give yourself permission to be bad at something and try it.
Did your parents let you try a bunch of different things when you were little?
No.
Okay.
And I think that sticks with me a lot. Not that they didn't, there was no time. Right. They were just always trying to build a life for us. They were never home. We always had babysitters. They were always working. Yeah. And then when they came home, they were like just so drained from their days that it was very like we compartmentalized our like life, which is like in a weird psychotic way. I think a lot of the mom character was like me healing a lot of like what I needed my mom to be growing up. And we've gotten such a better relationship, but sometimes people think my mom is a lot more goofy than she is. And I'm like, well, she is to a point, but like the mom I've created is like the mom I really needed, I think. Like
cares and is GG, like the feelings are so deep.
Yeah, my mom has gone through hell and back in her life. She's lost her father, her first husband, like to like just really some serious tragedies. And I think it's not hardened her, but it's made her like more like, I don't know, like black and white.
Yeah.
And I'm just like a goofy person. So I think I've created this like goofy dynamic in my videos. But when it's really me, I'm still so much of her because I am very serious and driven, you know?
Yeah.
Always trying to make it work.
That's interesting. I think it's like to hear someone else say that there's like this creative outlet that's therapeutic for them is so, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Through my divorce was the hardest time in my life. And that's when I blew up on content. So there was almost like this,
it's the same
just like
thing.
a feeling of like escapism, but also just connection.
Well, what a great way to like channel stress in like just trying to work through something with like something positive and fun.
Yeah. All right. So with all the things we're talking about with where you're going and career and different outlets, what's the proudest moment so far for you?
This weekend, finishing the tour. Oh my God. Because it's like, that was just such a big stretch for me to do that. So I think just finishing it off and being like, I liked the way it ended. I felt successful. And it's not every show you feel that good. So I needed my last show to be a real big win. So I think doing that. Some shows are hard.
So this was how many people in the audience?
Last night was the last show was 1,000. The night before was 1,800.
Oh my
But Mass
goodness.
shows up.
And does that just like charge you up?
Yeah, but sometimes it's bad. Like, so when in San Francisco, I love the people there, but the audience was a little sleepier. I think everyone was stoned. So I was like, so when you don't get the rowdiness, sometimes it's like a little like, are we clocking in? It scares you a little bit. You know what I mean? So that's the difference between doing stuff live. Because if a video doesn't hit, you're like, oh, that sucks. But if it doesn't hit live, you're like, oh, this sucks.
That is so hard.
But it's also like, I don't know. There's like different levels. It's the middle of the week. Are people drinking? Do people like smoke something before? Like there's people's reactions. Like you can watch something so funny and not be like laughing out loud, but still enjoying. Yeah. But when you're doing an hour.
No, when I went to your city, the City Winery, my cheeks literally up here were hurting so bad. I laughed the whole time.
Well, you know what's interesting about where we're from? We drink. The people here really drink, and I can see it. Like, there's a couple of cities like Seattle and Austin were like drinking cities too. Yeah. But like Mass, like we like to party here. Yeah. So it's not as hard as an audience.
No, it is. And I saw everyone was like, that was their commitment to their night out.
Yes.
They were with their girlfriends. They had the wine. They were with their moms.
It's fun that way though. Like, ladies' night out.
We're a fun area.
Yeah.
We are a fun area.
Also, like, if you're going to go to a show, like, I like that. Just, like, commit to the night out. I'm never going out with one drink. Yeah. What's the point?
No, they were a hardcore group. I saw you. I loved you. The smiles it was just such energy.
When you drink, right?
I do. Not as much. I used to be able to.
You're also, like, very health conscious. You are, like, very strong and health-minded. But like
you said earlier, I follow my intuition. I'm feeling my body. As you get older, it just doesn't hit like it used to, and it doesn't flow. But I love my Cabernet.
Okay.
I just don't drink it as much as I used to. And if I am going out, you know what?
What?
Don't talk to me in the summer about a mudslide on the beach. Do not. You're never going to tell me that it's not.
Where's your favorite mudslide?
The one that comes to the top of my head from a happiness standpoint, because there's an energy about where you have your mudslide too. A mudslide that I want right now is at, what's the name of it? Is it Seabrook? Seacrest, Falmouth.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
Seacrest, Falmouth. Sometimes they have the steel drum guy out there. So I was right on the beach, right on the ocean. And I'm like, what?
Should we all just invest in a little steel drum? I think if I had that in my house, a little 1-2, like, you know, right there. If you had a steel drum right now, vibes instantly higher.
The vibes instantly higher.
Everyone needs an at-home steel drum.
In my pool area.
Your neighbors come out, they're obsessed.
Steel drum is really, we should talk about steel drums more often.
We should. Also, I just did an ad for the Ninja Slushie. Have you heard of this before?
Holy shit. No. I've heard of it. Tell me.
There's no ice in it. It just freezes alcohol or anything. You make smoothies in it too, but it does it with no ice. So we'll get you the Ninja Slushie for the back patio. We'll get you the steel drum. This is going to be
the mudslides.
Yeah.
Mudslide summer.
Mudslide. I like a dirty banana. Which is kind of like the banana version of a mudslide.
The best dirty banana you're ever going to have in your life besides the Caribbean is, what's his name? He's right at Oak Bluffs in Martha's Vineyard.
That's the guy who giving your
He's going to stand.
And he tastes, there's a guy in Oaks Bluff and he makes the best dirty bananas right on Martha's Vineyard and he tries every single one on his hand before he does it. Oh my God, what's his name?
Starts with a D.
It's a D.
Not Dominic.
Damien. No, what is it?
I'm going to be pissed. Legend. This is going to be one of the things when you're driving home, I'm going to go.
Oh, but you know what though? Anyone who's ever been there.
I have pictures and videos of him.
Of course you do.
We're going to put an overlay just to give the guy a shout out. He's the best.
Yeah, amazing.
The key lime one is delicious too. The lime coconut lime.
I should go out of my way and do something different, but every time I'm there, I get the one I really want. But he kills it. That's what I was thinking
one
too.
more thing, because I just have it on my mind.
Say
the
it.
perfect day in Cape Cod. So I'm going to do my version, and then you're going to do yours. The Old Silver Beach. I get the word, but I can't. Old Silver Beach, daytime beach vibes. The Seacrest for your dirty banana or mudslide. Back to the beach nap, because you're like, oh shit, I got a day buzz, and now like, what are we doing for dinner? And then for dinner, you go over to the landfall. You have a Greyhound, which is they fresh press the grapefruit juice.
Oh, amazing!
Right into the either Tito's or the tequila.
Okay, so now you're drinking on this trip.
And Cajun swordfish, and you get the spot on the water. Take Jonathan. That's your perfect.
He'll die. And he's pescatarian, so he loves.
You're drinking on that day.
I
said I don't drink that much that day.
Well, you need. I like the way you drink, because you need the energy and the vibe to drink, and that's a good way. See, for me at this point in my career, I'm like, oh, I have a day off. I'm having a Mickey. Like
that's because of the kids. If I'm away for the kids from a night, which rarely happens, I'm like, oh, let the tits out.
My liver though, she needs a break. I need to reset. I've gained like 10 pounds this winter.
Well, listen.
Well, I'm just comfort eating.
Summer hits and it comes off.
Well, you know what's happening? It's it's cold today.
Yeah.
But when it gets warm in like 3 weeks, I'm gonna be in panicky mode. I'm not
You're
gonna
gonna
be
be in
doing
the
double workouts.
wife beater, like
I'm gonna be on the Peloton twice a day.
Do you have a Peloton?
I do. But
the tread or the bike?
No, the bike. I want the tread, but I can't fit the tread. My sister's got the tread.
I want the plus tread.
Peloton users, you're gonna regret if you don't do the plus, because the screen won't move.
It's supposed to be good. I'm starting to have things ache in the middle of the night. My baby toe was hurting last night, and I was like, "Did I bang it?
That's medical.
Or do I have a disease?"
What happened? Was it okay today?
Not really.
Oh my god!
But I have all the things.
You're so strong, Mama. You're pushing through. Your toes throbbing.
Baby toes in the new pair of Vans. Never wore these, scrunched in. But like, what's wrong? Is the baby toe connected to my heart? I started thinking, do I have a heart disease and my baby toes losing circulation?
We're not medical. We don't know, but now I'm concerned. So we need to get an MRI, and we need to do a wrap up of something.
But I'm serious. Like, these are the things that what keep me up at night. What keeps you up at night?
My sharp pains, but you know what it's from? And this is bad. And I know it's bad. I'm being vulnerable. I should stop vaping. I know. The popcorn lung is coming. It's coming for me.
Layla is going to be devastated.
Why?
Because when she sees a vape, she's like, Mom, they have a vape.
Oh, she's upset?
Upset.
Good. That is really good that she has that reaction to it. But I started smoking cigarettes when I was 18 to impress a boy.
Oh, gosh.
At a restaurant. I was like, he smokes. I want to smoke. And I've been a smoker ever since. But at least the vape doesn't smell as bad. But my popcorn lung vape, oh my God, I can feel it.
I'm going to stay on top of you for this.
Jonathan goes, Jonathan, in the middle of tour, he's like, I'm going to quit. I said, in the middle of tour? You can't quit now. It's too stressful. Too much travel. I think when I'm done here, because when I'm home, I'm partying. When I'm done here, I'm going to get on the Peloton, eat some salad, and stop vaping.
Absolutely.
But it's a lot to commit
That's a lot to commit. My dad smoked when I was little, and I still have PTSD from it. He used to help me with my paper route.
You had a paper route?
Fucking Herald News.
That's so cute.
Fucking Herald News.
I love that.
Delivered those big boys on Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
My dad like this, 7 a.m. ripping butts. And now I look back, I'm like, my parents were young when they had me. So my dad was still in his prime, showing up, probably hungover, to get me for the paper route. I was in the back of the truck. That's illegal now. Feet dangling off the back of his truck to go deliver the big papers. But that wasn't the point, the smoking.
Yeah.
I used to send him anonymous magazine cutouts about how smoking causes cancer, and I'd put them in the mail, and he'd open them and be like, oh, wow, someone sent me.
Did he know it was you?
Yeah.
Of course. It's like your handwriting.
But I was like, no return sender.
Wait, honestly, that was really nice of you, though. You were just trying your best.
But that's also passive. I should have been more aggressive.
You were a child.
Yeah. But still, I was like, I didn't want to upset anyone, so I did it like anonymously.
Yeah. I gotta quit vaping. I know. That's my anonymous ache and pain. I can't help it.
Okay. So now we're going to do some rapid fire, quick questions. I love this part because it tells us the shit that I just want to know.
Go with my gut.
Okay. Biggest Jonathan ick.
Oh, okay. Hold on. So sometimes he's a little too soft when he like gets hurt. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is so misogynistic. I'm like, man up. You're fine. My brother had a broken wrist for 2 days before I took him to the hospital. She told him like walk it off. So sometimes he's a little too coddly.
We were raised by the same mom, I swear.
But also that's what I need more of, is a little softer energy. So I love it and I hate it. But this morning when he hit his toe and he was like, "Oh," I'm like, I'm gonna flip out.
Dad,
be pissed I said that. I love you,
What
Jonathan.
is your relationship style?
What does that mean?
Meaning like, I guess love language.
Oh, so what do I give? My gifting is gift giving and quality time.
Love. What about his?
I think he gives quality time, and what's the one that's like listening? Is it just listening?
Affirmations.
He gives affirmations. He does do affirmations.
So he tells you how wonderful you are.
Yeah.
I love that.
He's great.
I love that.
He's the perfect man. He is.
I'm so happy for you because let me tell you, I could
I
go off
know.
on a divorced woman's freaking essay.
Wait, and the thing
on
is,
this.
the girls want it.
What?
The girls want it. They want to hear you go off.
They do. We'll do that another time. Who do you have jealous bitch content envy over? I know I have it, but in like the most admirational way. It's not like a mean.
Benito Skinner, Benny Drama. He's been like my North Star my whole career. When I saw his show in 2019, I talk about this all the time. I saw him perform in Boston in 2019, and I said, "Oh, this is how you do stand up with characters." And now he wrote a show and sold it to Amazon. He's starring in it. So, and I told him to his face, I'm like, I like think you're just everything I want to be. So, Benny Drama.
I love the North. Everybody has to know who your North Star person
Yeah,
is.
I think it keeps
Love
you
that.
focused. What about your?
Right now, so Elise Myers, I've always just been like, what the fuck is she doing? That I'm like, her following is so
Insane.
committed,
And
insane.
she is just salt of the earth, amazing.
Right.
I love that girl.
Yeah.
Through and through.
Yeah, so there have been times I'm like, I don't even know if I could follow her because I'm going to compare everything to like her.
I get that.
Right?
I get that.
And then
Sometimes you don't, you
Kylie
shouldn't.
Kelsey right now, who's going to be on my show and I'm going to be on hers. We love each other. We've loved each other before she had the podcast because of our Feel Hockey connection. But seeing her
Amazing.
launch a podcast and go right to the top of the charts, I'm not going to lie. I'm like, oh my God, this is so much more work for me. And sometimes I'm like, bratty about it, but I'm so happy for her. Does that make sense?
Sometimes it's
You got to
more
have
worth
your,
it.
like, it keeps you competitive.
Yeah,
It's just,
it does.
yeah,
And
I'm not competitive with her, but I know that I know what I want.
Yeah, I'm the same way as you. We're
Yeah.
just competitive by nature with ourselves.
Yes.
To
yes.
keep going
It's not
better.
like Kylie, get out of the way. It's like, hey, can we just
Be here together.
dab together? Okay, what is your dream collab?
My dream collab would be, I don't know what my dream collab would be. I've kind of had all my dream collabs at this point. Maybe like a TV show.
Yeah.
Some sort of like on set kind of moment.
Yep.
I'd love that.
Love it.
Yeah. What about you?
Like Will Ferrell, Vince Vaughn, Adam Sandler.
Okay, yeah. We're talking Hollywood now.
Like I just want to, those are the people I just am like,
Yeah.
those are kind of North Stars for me from a comedy perspective.
Of course.
Biggest girl crush.
Biggest girl crush, Casey Musgraves.
Does she know that?
Yeah.
Does she know you?
Yeah. I love her. I just
I-
think I've always loved her, and now that she's in my DMs, it's funny.
Don't you love that?
It's silly. It's all
But is
silly.
it's like, it's also let's talk about the celeb following, because that's what happens at this level. You start having these
Everyone's
friendships.
so normal.
Normal.
Everyone's so normal.
Normal.
Yeah. And
I
then
got some people in my DMs and I'm like, we're just chatting it up. Like we're just both moms.
you think is you got to be normal, because if you get weird, then that's all weird. You can't lose control. You got to approach everything with a normalcy, and then you can be friends. But if you come in a little too fanny,
No, you
you're
can't.
Out. You're
can't.
out.
No, you can't. Yeah, and it happens to you too. Don't you feel like when people come up to you trying to match your energy, it's just like, you don't have to match me. I just want you to be you.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm lucky that people even want to talk to me. Someone was like, "Hey," I'm always matching energy though. Especially when I love when people come up to me out at the bars, because I'm like, now we're both feeling weird.
Yeah. Now we're both weird. I love
Yeah.
it. I love when they're just honest and they don't like shy away. Okay. Favorite candy. I don't know.
Bunch of Crunch, right to my head.
What?
Bunch of Crunch.
What's that?
It's like it's the rice kind of like wafer chocolates, like a Crunch bar.
You're kidding.
But the Bunch of Crunch are the little pieces.
That's your favorite candy.
Yeah, I love that. I'm a
would
chocolate guy.
Never would I know that,
was-
especially with the crunch, like the rice crunch in
Yeah,
there.
also Snow Caps as an OG.
That is OG.
I know. What about yours?
Oh God, I don't know.
Are you not a candy girl?
I'm really into, this is gonna sound, I like Sweet Smarts because they don't have all the junk in it.
Yeah,
and
but
I
you
like
gotta be
Joyride.
honest with yourself with the Sweet Smarts. There's with the
shit
gummies.
yourself.
Well, yes,
Yeah.
but I like that.
Yeah.
The gummies are a little too. Sometimes I need the more gum.
Yeah, you need them. Try Joyride. Ryan
Okay.
Trahan. He's a big YouTuber.
Okay, I haven't heard of those.
My son watches him, and I'm like, I'm down with this guy. There's other YouTubers I can't have on the TV. I get overstimulated. Ryan Trahan's awesome.
Joyride's
and
a cute
Joyride
name
is his
too.
candy.
I like that.
Yes,
Okay.
and I feel good about it. So, best purchase of 2024.
Best purchase of 2024. I didn't really purchase anything in 2024. I don't know.
Good one, right? Hard.
Yeah, that's a hard one. What did you? Let me think about it. What did you get? Anything good?
Probably I'm like you said, with money, I think for me, it's like my Disney trip with my kids is like, I don't want to hear about a budget. I'm doing it the way I want to do it.
Well, what a
Just,
joy.
I pretend that's not the amount that I'm spending.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is fucking for Mickey.
Yeah, for Mickey.
This is for my childhood.
Well, they're gonna
grandparents.
love it.
They do.
It. Yeah.
But we're already going again in a few weeks. So I guess I'll lead to this. If you think of a purchase, let me know. If you were a Disney ride, which one would you be?
The People Mover.
Why? I love
Because it's
that.
relaxing and it's classic, and if they ever touch it, I'll scream. But I love when you're exhausted in Magic Kingdom and you've done your whole day, and you go to the People Mover, and it's a solid. I think it's like 6 minutes. It's long.
It's great.
And there's a little bit of a breeze, and I actually really enjoy the view from up there and where it cycles. And I almost wish they would let you do a double ride because there's never really a line.
Double ride.
Like,
Just stay. Can I just give them? This should be a flag. You just put it up and
and your feet are
stay on.
sore. Oh my God! Literally, that would be it for sure. What would be yours?
I love the People Mover. If I were a ride, probably Thunder Mountain, because it's like I am 80% of me is nostalgia.
Yeah.
Like I am so nostalgic about everything. So that one reminds me of my grandmother losing her glasses, and I still vividly remember it from when I was like Chase's age. And she was just giggling and the glasses were flying around. And,
Oh my God.
And it's just like the first ride I brought my kids on when we went to Disney. So like Thunder Mountain, and it's silly.
Do you know Thunder Mountain is a proven ride to pass kidney stones? There's been medical proof that people have had kidney stones, gone on Thunder Mountain Railroad, and then they pass the kidney stone. There's some sort of like corner, like a G-force that happens on that ride that like if you have a kidney stone, you go on that ride, you could pass it.
Listen.
So it's also like a medical mystery ride.
I love that. I love that. And I get all giddy if the fireworks are going off.
Oh,
And you're going
what
up
a
the hill.
joy.
I'm like, look at the castle. Look at the fireworks.
I haven't been in 2 years. I'm freaking out. I want to go so bad.
Did you get hosted 2 years ago?
I did, and that's a lot. Those are fun, but they're a lot. They
Yeah.
work you like a dog.
Well, all right. So just go. Just go.
No, they're really fun.
No,
trips.
just go on your own and like
Oh
go.
yeah. I want to go. I think I'm gonna do a treat myself this May.
have to.
Yeah.
Have to. We'll talk about that that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
All right. In closing, Zachariah Porter, what's next for you, and where can we find more of you?
I am going to be back on the internet. I've been taking a little bit of a break because I've been on the road just with video content. So I'm everywhere. Zachariah Porter, pretty much everywhere. ZZ Zachariah on TikTok. And this year, my big goal is to write. I'm going to start writing some bigger projects that aren't just 60-second videos. So that's where I'm at. So thank you. And I'm proud of you. This is amazing.
Thank
And
you.
I've
I love you.
loved you for years. So season 2, baby. Everybody better buckle in.
Buckle in. What do you think I should do? Season 2.
I think this.
If you were my creator.
I would just keep doing like fun interviews.
Yeah.
But also I think people love you. So just keep with the solo stuff too and just be yourself.
Yeah, I'm taking free creative ollies here in the seat because you are creative genius. I love you.
Thank you.
So much. Gigi would be so proud, everyone.
Gigi
Thanks
would have
for
loved
being
this.
Here. Follow Zachariah everywhere. You will not be disappointed. Love ya.
Bye.
Dab. How do you dab?